Please welcome to the stage, the Crack Podcast Live!
What's up, UCB Sunset? My name is Jack O'Brien. I'm the editor-in-chief of Cracked, and joining me on stage is the warm beating heart and big swinging dick of Crack.com, Mr. Daniel O'Brien. Hey, everybody. Thanks. This podcast is about, it's back to school time, right?
Yeah.
Am I right? We're going to be talking about fictional schools, and specifically which ones you'd like to attend, you'd like to be going back to. If I had to guess, I'd say you were going to pick Footloose, because they hit women and prohibit dancing and settle everything with tractor fights, just like you.
Right, yeah. I just want to make it clear that it is Footloose pre-Kevin Bacon. I want no dancing at all.
Right. Pre-liberation Footloose.
Very comfortable zone for me.
I think mine is Fast Times, because parents don't exist in that universe. And I think that if I were to go back to school, the worst part of that would be losing all my human rights. Parents are the worst, right, guys? Parents just don't understand. See? I'm hip.
Yeah,
I'm with it. And one important caveat is you don't get to choose who you are. You're basically yourself. And we're going to ask you guys to come up and give your answers. But it can't be like, I want to go back to Ferris Bueller's Day Off High School because I'd be Ferris. You wouldn't be Ferris. You'd be
nice try, Cameron.
Yeah, you'd be the person painting Save Ferris on the water tower.
We have a podium up there because we have a tremendous roster of writers and comedians who are going to come out here and pitch their favorite fictional school. And I think it's up to you, the audience, if they get to stay on stage and hang out with us. Yeah.
So should we get started, or did you want to talk about?
I'll talk briefly about. We're going to see how deep a cut this is as far as name recognition. Bronson Alcott High.
Dead silence.
We'll fix that in post.
Man, they went crazy.
That's the school from Clueless, which is size and recognition. That's what everyone wants. And there's something really great about the simplicity of Clueless that we say right in the beginning, those are where the burnouts go, and those are where the jocks go, and those are where us fancy Clueless folks go. And everyone knows their place, and it's really comfortable, and nobody bothers anyone. They're all friends with each other, and if you're a total spaz, there's a chance that the coolest people in school will just fix you, and they'll say to your face, it's like, hey, you're broken, but like hang out with us for a while, and we'll put you exactly where you're supposed to go, and everything will be fine. And I could have used that at 15 through 28.
I think that's a good answer, Dan.
Thanks, Jack. Is that it?
All right. Yep.
Okay.
Good night.
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Thank you. All right. Coming up first is a very funny writer and performer from Crack.com. He's also a stand-up who's appeared on Tomorrow Show, Ice House, at the Laugh Factory. He enters every stage that he walks onto cocked first. Please welcome Alex Schmidt, a.k.a. Schmidt the Clown.
How's it going? Yeah. I would like to go for the first time in forever to Starfleet Academy. It would be amazing. Yeah. All right.
What's that from?
That's 10 Things I Hate About You. Is that correct?
It's Harvard and West Point all at once to go on space adventures. Star Trek takes place in like this magical, impossible future where people can afford to live in San Francisco. They can just do that. It seems like there's very little word processing going on. There's very little programming that I can see done by people and aliens. Like, it's a lot of people just walking up to a computer saying like, computer, pull up the solution to this problem. And like, then it's done. And it's set. And that seems like a very wonderful place to go to school in, because then you can like really focus on whatever it is you're actually passionate about and whatever you want to be up to.
I still feel like at an academic level, like on a day-to-day going to school basis, I would be bummed, and I don't want to make any assumptions, but you would be too, because neither of us, if I can speak out of turn, are Kirks. Would you say that's fair? Yes, yeah. I'm gonna jump in.
Yeah.
It's fair.
Let's say yeah.
So you're just non-Kirk at this school.
Yes.
And then suddenly, the cool guy on the motorcycle gets to rule the in school because he's just got that natural coolness that neither of us possess. So there's no real lesson in there.
I think it seems like a school that is very into bar fights. Like, not only in this new Kelvin timeline, that was Kirk's application, was to get in a bar fight in front of a guy. Was like, then you're in.
What is the core curriculum? What is the basic education level for in Starfleet? Because I feel like it's got to be so scattered, because anytime anything happens, one person on the ship knows what it means and has to explain it to everyone else.
Yeah. It's partly cultural, which is it's good that it's a diverse thing. But also, the curriculum is fantastic, I think, because I get the sense from the way people talk about it is what's the big story from people's Starfleet Academy experience? It's Kobayashi Maru Day. It's the day where we did the no-win mission, and we all learned that some missions are no-win, except one time Kirk hacked it but won. But that seems to be the only time it was hard. Basically, they went to school and had one day that was not even hard to pass, it was just aggravating. You aren't gonna pass, so it's fine. It's a pass-fail day, and then the rest of it is just having sex with aliens, because apparently you can, and meeting new people, and eventually having the bar fight that launches you into space.
It's the most diverse school we're probably gonna find. Cultures from all over. I was about to say the world, but
the quadrant.
The quadrant.
It seems like the engineering program is amazing. It's a really good, if you want to just get into engineering, because especially with Scotty in the original show, just every week it would be the captain saying, hey, I need you to make the ship do a thing that even with our tech is physically impossible. And Scotty says, I don't know if I can, and then he defies God. It's amazing. That was a good program. Whatever they did, at worst, they don't kill genius. It's really great.
Give it up for Alex Schmidt.
Hey, thank you.
She's gonna shake it. Up next is a comedian, writer, and fashionista. She writes for Pajiba, has appeared at Meltdown, Iowa West, All Jane Comedy Festival, on Not Safe with Nikki Glazer, and will be appearing on a new MTV show called Acting Out. Please give it up for Riley Silverman.
So I'm here to talk about Hogwarts, and I feel like I'm the only one who has to be here. Now, granted, I can find a queer metaphor in just about anything, because I am 2 layers of queer and an English major, so it's a pretty good combination. But with Harry Potter and Hogwarts, it's really pretty easy to make one. Young Harry Potter literally lived in a closet. I lived in a closet. Are you kidding? There's a school that I can go to. I lived in a closet. I was surrounded by people I didn't fit in with, and I thought I was the only one like me in the world. And now here's a whole school full of people just like me. The only downside is that once in a while a kid dies. That's the only...
What are post-graduation jobs like for wizards that don't end up teaching at Hogwarts? What is that field? Because if they're learning magic and how to visualize the thing that scares them the most and how to ride brooms and so on, that doesn't leave a lot of room for math and English and taxes.
I mean, there are some retail jobs. Obviously, as a guy selling wands, you got your Ollivanders, you've got your servers working in the broomsticks. But I'd rather be serving in a restaurant where I can just do this and then my busy work is done.
I've learned not to ask Harry Potter questions to a person with a wand.
A good general policy.
I feel like just becoming a wizard at all, maybe it's not even Hogwarts specific, but just a life of wizardry is a life of kind of hiding all the time, right? It's because of the statute of secrecy and everything, you're just running around constantly not letting me see you do anything.
To me, it's almost like being queer and there's a point in time where we have our own bars without windows, we're fine, we're doing okay, we have a little...
Also, the moving stairs are indefensible. That's not helpful to anyone. That it just constantly randomizes. I don't like it.
Hot take.
Hot fair point.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I mean, give it up for Riley Silverman. Give it up for Alex Schmidt.
Buddy. Thanks, guys.
All right, coming up next is a Los Angeles comedian who hosts a podcast called Lady to Lady and does a show called Picture This, where comics have their jokes illustrated behind them. And her album Opinion Cave was #1 on iTunes. Her favorite year is 1998. I don't know why I have that in my introduction. Please give it up for Brandie Posey.
I'm talking about Walkerville Elementary, who is home of the Magic School Bus and Miss Frizzle. So I'm talking about, first out of the gate, our school, no guns, no phasers, no wands. Out of the gate, I'll just say that. Nobody dies at Walkerville Elementary. Schools are made by their teachers, not by their buildings. You have a fancy castle, who gives a shit about that? Slaves probably built it.
Might be true, actually.
This has become such a contentious podcast about fictional schools.
But I love Miss Frizzle because Miss Frizzle is very, she's very personable, but she's also really good at keeping a distance, which I think is really important for a lot of the teachers that you're going to hear about tonight, because she has an air of mystery. She's not involved with her students' personal lives. Super creepy. But they go on all of these amazing field trips. They literally become bees to learn about pollination. Do you do that at Hogwarts? No, you don't.
I just want to say our books are written by a single mother who was just trying to make ends meet.
You know nothing of Joanna Cole's life.
That's probably true.
Touché.
I also think it's really important to note that Walkerville Elementary is a public school. A lot of the schools that we've heard about tonight are private institutions for the 1%. Nobody that went to Walkerville Elementary is going to vote for Trump, because when you've been baked into a cake with somebody different from you, and then you live to not only tell about it, but also understand the chemical combustion that almost killed you, that's how tolerance happens.
That's actually true. I can back that up. That's true.
I should point out no one in Hogwarts votes for Trump because they're all British citizens.
Oh, Hogwarts is so pro-Brexit.
Yeah. Enjoy Boris Johnson, Weasleys.
All right, everyone give it up for Brandie Posey. And give it up again for Riley Silverman. That's close. Tie goes to the new person, so Brandie, you're gonna hang. Thank you, Riley. Up next is a hilarious writer and performer at cracked.com. He grew up on a boat. He goes by many nicknames: Sarge, the Surge, Serge. Please give it up for Joshua Sargent. Woo!
When I was picking my school, I thought a lot about it, and I thought to myself, what makes a good school? You want a place that is going to give you a strong formal education, and you want a place that is going to emotionally prepare you for the difficulties of adulthood. And so I decided to go with Sunnydale High from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I know what you're thinking. There's one obvious problem, which is that Sunnydale is a suburb in Southern California, so it's going to be really expensive to live here. And as you know, financial stress is one of the biggest contributors to a poor academic performance. But they specify in Season 6, Episode 20, Villains, that the property value is really low in Sunnydale because of all the unexplained murders. So if you look at Sunnydale High, we have one student who built a sentient robot that could pass as human while they were still a high school student, and another student who made a concoction that turned him into a giant murderous, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and he's 16. That's incredible. I can't do that. Very impressed with the results we're getting from Sunnydale High. Yes, there are a lot of demons. Most of them are metaphors for common problems. If you say are struggling with your sexual orientation, odds are you're going to meet your gay vampire doppelganger from another universe, and you can talk with them and discuss those issues. So I just can't think of a downside.
Yeah, no, you took
And
care
nobody
of all
else
of them with the
can
property
either.
value thing.
All communities have problems. And you do your best to get over them. You address them. And Sunnydale, I don't know if you know this, the only place in the world with an active vampire slayer. They destroy the school with a giant snake demon from hell, rebuilt it the next year, and everything's fine.
There's an elephant in the room, and it's all the deaths.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, I'm convinced.
Listen, I just, having watched every episode of Buffy so many times, I can't understand how anyone fails to avoid a vampire. They are so obviously vampires. Immediately.
Sounds like a bunch of dumb kids who weren't educated properly.
Get into video games, get into Dungeons and Dragons, stay in, that's fine. Don't go out at night and then leave fucking Sunnydale when you graduate high school. You should leave town anyway when you graduate high school.
None of the best parts of high school happen going out at night. So, yeah. This sounds...
Again, I wouldn't know. Is it true? Is going out at night fun? In regards to the deaths, season 7 does end with all of Sunnydale being swallowed into hell. And that seems like it's not great. But that's...
No, go on.
That's where this is all headed anyway. So I say, let's head first.
Give it up for Joshua
Buffy
Sargent.
the Vampire Slayer. Thank you.
Brandie, Posey. All right. Serge, you're staying. Brandie, thank you very much. Up next is one of the new faces of comedy in 2015 at the Just for Laughs Comedy Festival. These days, he's just a face of comedy. He's appeared at Bridgetown Comedy Festival, Largo. Please give it up for Stephen Wilbur.
Yale. Where are my Harvard people? But the one that I would like to attend the most is this little high school in Albuquerque, New Mexico, called East High, which, which is the setting of the popular High School Musical Disney Channel original movies. They've got a thriving theater program. They've got not a too overwhelming curriculum, which, as far as I could tell from watching these goddamn movies, it starts with homeroom, which is theater class, free period, and then theater class. And then basketball class. And then detention, which is theater class again. And it's got nothing like discrimination. Everyone's allowed to be there. There's no teen pregnancy. There's no foodborne illnesses. There's no asbestos. There's no bats. There's none of that. None of that. There's every clique there, like at any school, any clique you can think of. There's the jocks and the pretty nerds and the skatery guys, and all three of those cliques, and runs the gamut of cliques. But then, at any moment, when the divine muse Euterpe strikes her lightning down upon these children, everybody just gets up, starts twirling around, never missing a step, all singing in perfect harmony, and they are united by the power of song. But my favorite part about East High in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's been stressed a lot tonight, no one fucking dies there. No one's gonna die. You're safe. Starfleet, Sci-Fi Columbine is what that place is.
As research for your presentation, I watched the musical number We're All in This Together.
That's on you. That's your fault.
Sounds like a fairly divisive number, Jack.
Yeah, exactly. Very, very.
Oh, the message boards are furious about this one.
It sounded kind of like the inside of the head of a stupid person as they go insane. And
Kenny Ortega, writer and director of High School Musical.
I have a question.
Yes.
You say no deaths at this high school, but
Except stolen hearts.
if I
deaths.
if I went to high school with a bunch of musical kids singing Rent in the fucking hallways, I would kill myself.
Well, that's one way you could take it. If you insert yourself in this world, you could be like, hey, I'm going along, ooh, get your head in the game, all like that. Or you could be that outside element, that Fonzie, watch the world burn. Fonzie wasn't like that, but you could go in.
I think that's the
fuck
Joker.
things
I think
up.
you're thinking of.
Hey, Mr. C, I'm an agent of
Hey,
chaos.
Fonzie!
all right, give it up for Stephen Wilbur. Give it up for Brandie Posey. All right, I think Stephen gets it. Thanks, Brandie. All right, and finally, we have another hilarious comedian. She writes for Comedy Central, McSweeney's, Splitsider, basically all the websites I visit on a regular basis. She's appeared all over the place doing standing-up comedy, including Bridgetown Comedy Festival. Please welcome Alison Leiby.
Well, let's talk about the ultimate high school that I think everybody wanted to go to, which is Bayside High, home of the Tigers on Saved by the Bell. Yes? We're all good? I wanted to pick a school where I related to somebody that actually went there, and I strongly relate to Jessie Spano. Just because we're both really aggressive feminists with frizzy hair and a light pill addiction. I think we all remember when Jessie was overwhelmed with not only her studies and the SATs so she could get into Stansbury, which was Stanford, and she started taking caffeine pills and was taking them too much, and we all remember the famed Emmy Award-winning moment, where it should have been at least, when Zach climbs through her window to be like, hey, what's up, girl, you have a problem, and then she did I'll act it out for you in case we all forget. I'm so excited, I'm so excited, I'm so scared!
That was brilliant.
And then he was like, Jessie, you can't take caffeine pills anymore, they're bad for you. And she was like, okay. And then she just wasn't addicted to pills anymore. Can you imagine if we could just do that for every high school addict? The Cure is just Mark Paul Gosselaar comes through your window, you sing a Pointer Sisters song, and it's over? Everybody I know went to rehab. There's no cafeteria, they just have a hip burger joint with a magician that works there. And that's where they got all their food. There's all these thin people walking around and they're burger and a milkshake for lunch. I'm like, what? I also appreciate a world where a loudmouth feminist could date a lightly misogynistic hunk. I just think that that's a little match made in heaven, and one that I'm familiar with in real life, and it never ends up that cute. She's like, you're a pig, and then in the real world, he's like, then don't date me anymore. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
The one thing I'm gonna ding you on is you said that you can easily quit a pill addiction. You can easily quit a caffeine pill addiction, that.
By switching to coffee.
Right.
It was just a really cool place to be, I think. The popular sport was wrestling. What? Not in this America.
I do feel like you have the easiest to manipulate adults at Bayside. Mr. Belding is basically you can hoe him out. He just becomes whatever you want him to do.
We'll do whatever for those kids.
If you attended Bayside, do you see yourself
being able to integrate yourself with that core group, or would you be like with the tertiary characters?
I could get into that group, I think. I'm manipulative. I like lying. I feel like I could get in there. Just like befriend Jesse and be like, men are pigs, and then like later and be like, I did it.
Alison and Leiby, everybody.
Oh!
And I think that's all the time we have, everybody. Thank you very much.